Not there.
Okay, you got the white man in America.
Uh-huh.
But then you got white man everywhere else too.
Yes.
You got Russia, you got Greece, wherever.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? But you see them all as one.
They all are devils.
One devil.
Yes, they all are. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna prove what I'm saying too.
What about when the white man enslaved white man?
That's white people problems. We don't care about what white people do to white people. When they do it to the children of Israel, that's the problem. In slavery, yes, we were whipped, we were beat, we were killed. But during the beginning of slavery, black people understood we gotta get free or die trying. We had revolts going on in the slave time with Nat Turner. Nat Turner was going to the slave to the plantation and saying, look, these people are not meant to rule over us. We're supposed to be ruling. These people are not our masters. So we would revolt. So you know what the white man did? He said, look, the problem with Nat Turner was, do you know?
Position.
Huh?
Position.
Okay, position. Oh, Aaron.
Position.
What was the problem with Nat Turner? That white people had with him. Okay. Nat Turner's problem for the white man was Nat Turner learned how to read for himself. Nat Turner understood how to read the Bible. Prior to Nat Turner, we didn't have so much restrictions on reading the Bible. So when Nat Turner revolts was put down, guess what? They said, look, we gotta be careful how we deal with black people. The number one thing we need to do is stop them from reading the Bible. If they're going to learn the Bible, they have to learn from a white man on Sunday. And if they meet together, they can't be by themselves. A white man must be present. So what the white man did to cool that revolting spirit is he gave Christianity, Nadir. Right. Christianity, Catholicism was given to us to calm down the brute slaves. Listen, Jesus loves you. In heaven, there's no slavery in heaven. The white master loves you in heaven. So just while you're on earth, just be obedient to that white master. That's all you got to do. So once the black man was calmed down, he said, look, we can take the chains off. He's a good nigga now. Look, we can put him in the neighborhood. He won't come into our houses and chop us up like a Nat Turner was doing. He's not going to revolt against the system. So when we were let out of slavery, quote unquote, slavery did not end. The plantation just expanded. So we never left slavery. So what happened right after slavery? 1865. 1863, as soon as the Emancipation Proclamation came out, what came out with it? The 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment said, all right, listen, y'all niggas is free, but if you get locked up, you're going back into slavery. So it's okay, that's a good deal. Let's go out and just don't get locked up. But mind you, they have nowhere to go. They're walking around looking for work. What happens? What was the next law that they put in place, Nadir? Black codes. What black code was taking place to now put those slaves back in prison? Do you know? Okay, that's fine. Vagrancy laws. Vagrancy laws. So now the white man says, look, listen, y'all free. But if I catch any niggas walking around by themselves looking like they're up to no good, we can lock y'all back up. So now niggas is getting put back in prison just for being quote unquote free. So the slavery never ended. And when you got locked up, now you're working for the government as a slave. So when they had that whole Emancipation Proclamation, you can look up the writings of Abraham Lincoln. He never cared about black people. He cared about the union of white people. So they transferred the slave enslavement from a master to the government. Now the government owns the people. You understand? Now watch this. Why is it, Nadir, that we think that we're not enslaved? Hosea 4.
Hosea 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
telling you right there. You don't think you're destroyed because you lack knowledge. If you can't go into your own stores and buy your own food from your own people, you're destroyed. If you don't have any, what's it called? Any textiles, companies that your people is making, you're destroyed. If you believe that the white man is Jesus Christ, you're destroyed. If you follow Christianity, you're destroyed. If you follow Islam, you're destroyed. What does God say again? Read from the top again.
My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
Black people are destroyed because they lack the knowledge of God. So we are cursed in the city the same way we've been cursed. You have something? Go back to Deuteronomy 28. So God is telling you, you are cursed in the city. You are cursed in the field. Even in the work field. Let's say you're not in this plantation no more. You're in the work field still. Black people are the first fired and the last hired. Black people are cursed in the work field. Read it from the top again, verse 16. Come on.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 16.
So what am I showing us? Black people do not fear God. And it's the problem because God is only the God of us. God does not care about any other nation. That might sound crazy, but I'm going to read it out the Bible. My man, it's fact.
Not fact.
Read verse 32.
Verse 32.
Watch it.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people.
Now there, you know history. When was our sons and daughters given to another people?
As slavery.
I will take the ones Platt and Eliza.
Sold, Eliza and Platt, splendid.
You will not take them from me!
Get her out!
Slavery, okay, what year? What year?
I don't know much for that.
I thought you was good. You sorry. What year?
In the 18 something.
Okay, 1619. 1619 is when the blacks of America was taken to American slave ships.
Yes.
Europeans purchased slaves along the coast of West and Central Africa. The chained captives were forced onto ships destined to the New World for the long and brutal voyage known as the Middle Passage. Conditions on the ships were indescribably inhumane. The enslaved Africans weren't treated as human beings.
But prior to that, 1492, you had Christopher Columbus also enslaving the so-called Mexicans, Hispanics. We're the same people. The same, you believe that as well.
They had the slaves before black people.
Yes. Hispanic, no, the Irish weren't slaves as far as how we were enslaved. They were indentured slaves. Meaning they owed a debt to someone, so what they did was they had to work off that payment. Black people, we didn't owe no debt to no white man. The white man came to our kingdoms in Africa and in Europe and brought us over here, and they living out and took our freedom. So Irish, they don't match up with us. They're not the Israelites. You understand that? All right, 32. Watch this.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people.
Go ahead.
And thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long.
How do we know that?
Another people. Speak about it.
Right, another people. Right, you're right. Who's that other people that we was taken from? That we was taken to? The white man. The white man. The white man had us in slavery for over 400 years now.
Between the 16th and 19th centuries, Europeans captured, kidnapped, uprooted, and forced more than 12 million Africans to cross the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas. It was called the transatlantic slave trade.
Even after slavery, Nadir, guess what happened? You got the government coming to black people households and taking children that they deem the household not fit.
They've taken it to court. A Houston-based law firm on behalf of a family has filed a lawsuit alleging Child Protective Services discriminates against black families. That suit says blacks are robbed of opportunities to take in their own family members whose children are removed from their parents' care, and they're typically turned over to white foster parents.
That's called what? Diapers? What else they got? EHS. They'll even right now with the so-called Mexicans, because those are Israelites. They're going through the communities wherever they see so-called Mexicans, and they're taking them and ripping them apart from their fathers and mothers.
Right.
3 U.S. citizen children were deported to Honduras out of Louisiana. A U.S. district judge says the deportation, quote, had no meaningful process. Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia spoke with their attorney representing the family. Jonathan, they're saying these mothers had no legal options available to them.
That's right, Rashi. The attorney told me that these deportations were shocking, surprising, and deeply troubling, as these families were detained and had no option to seek legal help.
God is telling you, you never stop being cursed as a people. Let's go on, verse 47.
Verse 47. Because thy servants met the Lord with joyfulness and with gladness of heart,
Go ahead.
with abundance of all things.
Read on.
Therefore shall thy serve thine enemy.
So God says, because you don't want to serve me, you're going to serve your enemy. Now, who's your enemy now, dear? The devil. Okay, who's your enemy now, bro?
We all know.
Who is it?
The demon below.
Say it.
The devil.
Okay. Read it from the top again. You shall serve who?
You shall serve thine enemy.
Who did we serve in 1619?
Bring it out. The devil.
The devil? Okay. Who put chains on us in 1619?
Bring it out.
Who brought us on slave ships in 1619? Who whipped our backs in 1619? Who hung up our fathers and mothers on nooses in 1619? And who is that devil?
The devil.
Y'all not connecting the dots, brothers. The white man! Nobody wants to say it! Nobody wants to say it! The white man put you in slavery. The white man makes you go to work every day. The white man shoots down your children in the streets. The white man brought you into America. God said you will serve your enemy. The white man is your enemy. Now, the black people are so shocked at this. What do you mean? Jesus Christ is my enemy? God Almighty is my enemy? No. The white man has always pushed himself to black people as being an angel of light. So this is why black people, we don't ever connect to dots. Someone rapes your family, kills you, takes you, puts your family in slavery, and black people think, nah, that man loves me. He ain't the devil.
I got a question.
That's a spiritual demon. What's your question out there?
Now, okay, you got the white man in America, but then you got white man everywhere else too.
Yes.
You got Russia, you got
Yes.
Greece, wherever. You know what I'm saying? But if we see them all as one,
They all are
all
devils.
as one devil.
Yes, they all are. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna prove what I'm saying too.
What about when white man enslaved white man?
That's white people problems. We don't care about what white people do to white people. When they do it to the children of Israel, that's the problem. Now, the reason why we don't think that the people outside, the white people outside of America is the devil also, because we don't know history. Prior to, where was the first slave ships come from? Do y'all know? Where did the first slave ships come from? Nope. What'd you say?
I would have to revise.
Okay, the first slave ships came from Spain. Spain. What were black people doing in Spain? All throughout the Dark Ages, as they call it, black people were ruling in Europe. We had kingdom in Spain, Portugal, France, Britain. All those places were ruled by black people. So the people you see in Europe right now, how did they get there? They came into our palaces, they raped and murdered us, and they enslaved us. 1492, black people were expelled from Portugal. You don't know that history because America won't teach you that. 1492, we were expelled from Portugal. Black Jews were expelled from Portugal. Why? Because they were kicking you out of your lands. So that Russian man, that Irish man, that who else? Italian man, they had a part in the slave trade just like the whites in America. You understand? Now, give me Revelation chapter 2 verse 9. Why do I say the white man is the devil? Because God said he's the devil.
Because he is what he is.
He is. We can't be scared to say it. If you ask an Arab man who's his enemy, he's going to say America, he's going to say Europe, he's going to say NATO. If you ask the white man in the government who's the enemy, he's going to say China, he's going to say Russia, and he's going to say Iran. If you ask a Chinese man who's the enemy in China, they're going to say America, and they're going to say Japan. Black people are the only people that don't know who their enemy is.
I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please? Please?
Yes.
Because why? We're destroyed. You think everybody's your friend, and you open up your arms, and they destroy your community. Read that. Yes, sir? And you marry them. Black people go around and marry white women. Watch it, come on.
Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9.
Watch it.
I know thy works, in tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich.
So God is talking to the Israelites. This is the angel writing to the Israelite churches. He said, I know your tribulation and your poverty, meaning he sees the tribulation that black people go through. He sees us struggling in the hood. But thou art what?
But thou art rich.
But God says you're rich. Why does God say you're rich? Because everything in this Bible only pertains to the children of Israel. Yes.
The meek inheritance of the earth.
Say again?
The earth being the inheritance
of the meek? Yes, we are the meek. The meek are those that take heed to God's commandments. So when God says the meek shall inherit the earth, he's talking about the children of Israel. So when he says you're rich, he really means it. You don't understand the promises that's left for the children of Israel. We are going to rule this earth again. Just like we did in the time of David and Solomon. It's going to happen again. Now, read on.
And I know the blasphemy.
And now I know the blasphemy. Blasphemy means lies. Lies. I know the lies of what?
Of them which say they are Jews.
Of people today that call themselves Jews. What people today call themselves Jews? Tell me.
The people that is in control of a lot of things today.
I like that.
Are Jews.
Okay. What people today call themselves Jews?
other than the actual Jews.
Who's the actual Jews?
Jewish people.
Oh gosh, you just fell into it right there. The people that call themselves Jews today are not the actual Jews. Yes, yes. Who are the original Jews?
Hebrews.
Who are the Hebrews? What?
People of Jerusalem.
People of Jerusalem. Okay, we're going to help you out. So God is telling you back then, even back then up until today, there's people of a different nationality that still tell you that they're Jewish, even though they're not. God says they're what?
And are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
So God says those people today that call themselves Jews are actually the church of Satan. So who calls themselves Jews in the world? You see it going on right now in Gaza. The people calling themselves Jews are what? Killing thousands, massacring children, dropping bombs on families, and you still think they're the children of Israel. God says you've been deceived. They're the synagogue of Satan.
Could they be reciprocating energy from back when they were wronged by Hitler?
No! White people been the devil from the beginning. And the Arabs I'm not to say the Arabs are good people. The Arabs are devils too. But the white man are the children of Satan himself. Right. So God says, that's why he calls them the church of Satan. So how do I know that those people in the land today are not the children of Israel? Let's find out. Give me Luke 21. Now, you're going to learn some history that's been hidden from black people for over 2,000 years. Luke 21, read verse 22. This is Nadir. This is Jesus Christ talking to the apostles. He's asking them, what are the signs of the last days? Watch this.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 22. For these be the days of vengeance. That all things which are written may be fulfilled.
So Christ is telling them the first warning. These days that are coming are going to be the days of vengeance. Meaning what? Everything that we did against God from our forefathers up, God's going to require it against us today. So he's saying, look, prepare yourselves. Everything that was written has to be fulfilled. What's going to be done? Read on.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword. It shall be led away captive in all nations.
So what he tells them is, look, the women and children that you see in Jerusalem today, because they're in Jerusalem when they're talking about this, they're going to be killed. Why? In 70 AD, do any of you know what happened in Jerusalem? 70 AD, Jerusalem was besieged by Titus and Vespasian. They were Roman generals, Roman Caesars. They besieged Jerusalem round about, killed thousands of us, and enslaved the rest. So God is telling you Jerusalem is going to be overrun. The people in that land are going to be taken out. Then what did he say? You're going to be taken away where?
Led away captive into all nations.
The next thing he says, after Jerusalem is besieged, you're going to be led away captive into every nation. How were the Israelites led captive into every nation?
They did not understand.
How? How? Now why? How?
Because they had information to do what they had needed to do.
Give me that slave trade. Slave trade. I'm going to show you. It's very simple. We just don't connect the dots. Oh, it's right here. This is how black people, or the Israelites, were led captive into every nation. The transatlantic slave trade.
Okay.
Every nation had a part of our slave trade. Now there, you're seeing this, right? Come a little closer. I want you to see this. So God just said you're going to be led away captive into every nation. In the transatlantic slave trade, we were led to where? South America, North America, the islands of the sea. We were taken to Japan in the Silk Road slave trade. We were taken to the Arab countries in the sub-Saharan slave trade, taken to India in the sub-Saharan slave trade. So Jesus Christ was a prophet. What he said, did it come to pass?
Yes.
Yes. The Israelites were taken as slaves, captives into every nation. Now, read on. Is that still going on today? We're in those nations today, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now watch the next part.
In Jerusalem,
in that country, in Jerusalem, read on,
shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
To what?
Of the Gentiles.
So, Jerusalem now, God says in the future, will be inhabited by Gentiles. Gentiles. Who lives in the land of Jerusalem today? Gentiles. Meaning what? Those people that call themselves Jewish are not the real Jews. They're not the real Jews. How do I know that? Even today, those Jewish people, they run a lot of things in America, like you was touching on earlier. What people came out and said that black people are the Israelites within the last 2 years? You remember? You had Kanye West. You had Kyrie Irving. All these black people came out and said, yo, black people are the real Jews. And what did Jewish people do? They say, yo, take his money, take his job, make him apologize, tell him that he denounced everything that he believes in. Then we'll give him his job back. Why? Why is it such a threat for us to say that we're the Israelites? Why is it such a problem for us to just say, hey, did you know that black people are the Jews? Why? Because a lie has been put forth on the whole earth.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example.